suit or underwear, okay? And there you go, there's your bikini bottoms. Have a good time, boys, okay? And just sort of create that V-shaped line, okay, to create the bottom section of the torso, the pelvis, the hips. So you've got the waist, you've got the hips, the top of the legs, okay?
Is this recording audio?
Is this what?
Is this recording audio also?
I'm recording it because there are people absent today who will have to listen to this tape because this is going to be on the exam. So they're going to have to do this on their own time.
So is there audio on it?
Yep. So if you yell something obnoxious, I'm going to be very angry with you. And you know what you'll be doing? You'll have to tutor the kids who have to listen to this tape because this is so that they can catch up for the stuff they're going to miss on the exam.
So they're going to hear this entire conversation?
Mm-hmm. They're going to hear me saying, Danny, be a good boy. Thank you. Okay. Now the next thing that you're going to do, it's pretty simple, okay? The legs are a little bit weird, but what I want you to do is actually drop down to the number 6 guideline and just make this one a little bit wider, okay? Just make that number 6 guideline a little bit wider because that's approximately where the knees are going to land, okay? And so what you're going to do is bring the leg down all the way to that number 6 guideline on each side, and you can start to curve it in a little bit because it's where the knee sort of lands. Okay, you can start to curve this in. It's going to look weird because the legs are really super crazy elongated when you're talking about fashion figures. And if you want, you can even put sort of like a little circle to show where the knee would be, just to mark it. It'll help you remember that the knee and the number 6 are supposed to line up, okay? And then what you're going to do is from, well, essentially the crotch. Yep, she said crotch on tape. You're gonna come down on the inside of the thigh, okay? From the crotch. And then draw the inside of the thigh. You want to leave a little space between the legs, otherwise the legs are going to look a little strange. Okay? And land on the other side of the knee, like so.
It looks more like a rabbit.
Well, the legs look like the ears. Gosh, looks like
Okay, now I'm going to move this way a little bit. Okay? Now what you're going to do is between essentially 7 and 8, you're going to get a little bit of the calf. So you really want to bring this in pretty skinny, and you can refer to your diagram as well, the other diagram. And you basically want to come in, and then between 7 and 8, you want to bump back out just a little bit because that's part of the calf muscle. And then essentially you want to end this down near number 9 and sort of round out the bottom of the leg. Okay, and what I would suggest that you do is that you look at your croquis, because the bottom part of the leg, the finer details of it, you might want to use that a little bit as a guide. Okay?
Plus size bottom.
She should have very long legs. It should look a little ridiculous. Actually, it should. Okay? And then you basically sort of try to replicate, use a little symmetry. The other side. Okay, you just want a little bit of the bump to show the calf. Now remember, this is your first figure, so your legs might be a little fatter than you like, or your arms might end up being just a tad longer than you like. You can go back and fix it. This is just for practice to get the general right proportions. You'll get a little bit better at drawing it, okay? Yep. And I'm drawing it upside down, which makes it worse for me. You have to memorize where things land, exactly. Okay, so the knees, you got to memorize that's on the 6. You've got to memorize that just 1/4 inch below the number 4 is where the crotch would be. Okay, you're going to memorize essentially that the face, the head is from 0 to 1. You're going to remember that the neck is between 1 and 1.5. Okay. Now the feet are pretty simple. All you need to do is just create sort of a little wedge shape for the foot. Will be fine. Sort of a little wedge shape like this. Like kind of like little flippers. Yep, exactly.
think it does look like it.
Okay? Yeah, it should look a little weird. That's kind of how they look. Now you can go back in. I want to thin her out a little bit. And then we're going to move to finish the arms. Okay? Yep, she should look like she ends in little flippies. little flippers. Okay? Is everybody all set pretty much on the bottom portion of the figure? Legs and feet?
Okay, I get it.
You got it? 9 should be near the ankle, and then the legs just kind of, the feet just kind of hang off. Okay? Now let's move back up to the top. Okay? And let's just kind of finish off the arms. You're going to go back up to those two little ellipse shapes that you drew, and the first part of the arm, okay, is going to come all the way down to the number 3, and then just a teeny bit lower. Okay, whoop, to the number 3, and just right here. Right in between. That was my other guideline. I made a boo-boo. Oops. Okay. Where you made that little 1/4, remember you drew a new line under the number 3? You drew a 1/4 inch lower. Well, right between there is kind of where you want this arm to stop. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, starting from this side of the ellipse, I'm going to come down to that new guideline that I drew. You keep your arm pretty even. It can get a little bit more narrow as you're heading down toward number 3. And then you're just going to sort of round out the bottom of it, because the arm, you want the arm to look a little bit cylindrical.
Is that a straight line?
These right here, this is a little bit of a curve. These two lines are straight. Okay? And then on the other side, you want to do the same thing. So between the waist and the other line that I drew that's a 1/4 inch down, that's about where you want the arm to, the upper arm to stop. Okay? So I'm going to come down on this side also. And like so. You can get a little skinnier as it gets toward the target line, and then just